Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
This is James Elder for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. With me I've got Brixton's very own Ian Lewison. Firstly, how are you, Ian, mate?
Ian's good today.
Good. Congratulations on winning the WBC Asian Pacific title out in China. Big win for yourself, big statement. How have things been since then?
Nah, it's all been good. The reviews I'm getting has been positive, and the fact that I've got a belt now, it definitely motivates me every day to get up and continue with the process.
What's the plan then? Are you going to be defending that belt again in China? Is there any news on that?
Yeah, I will be. I'm going to defend it probably in December in either China or Tokyo, so I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay, we've obviously seen you're in the mix as well for the British title. An eliminator was scheduled, I believe, with Gary Cornish. What's the situation with that?
Well, as my understanding of the situation is, Gary Cornish is fighting for the Commonwealth on the 7th of September, so provided on how that goes, I think if he's successful, then he'll come back and he'll probably get in the mix and get in the eliminator for the British with me, but if he loses, I can't see it happening.
Do you think there was a safer option for him to go that Commonwealth route rather than face you in a British eliminator?
I think it was definitely once, because the fact is that was a straight final fight, a straight title fight, and so if he wins that, he's got himself a belt, where my one with him is an eliminator to fight for a title, so it definitely makes more sense. The risk to reward ratio definitely weighs up in his favour on that one.
A lot of the British heavyweights recently have been getting a lot more media attention. The division seems to be coming back to prominence a lot more. Eddie's even spoke about a big heavyweight sort of show at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. What are your thoughts on that? And have you got any sort of ideas of sort of gate crashing?
Yeah, of course, yeah. If everyone's involved in that, then at the end of the day, if they're talking top British fighters, they can't exclude me at the end of the day. They'll have to include me, because if it's to do with all British fighters, then yeah, I have to be in there somewhere.
What did you make of Dave Allen v Dillian Whyte? Interestingly enough, I know they're both in your division. I know you're similar sort of areas as Dillian Whyte. What should make of that fight?
Nah, do you know, I think Dylan done what he had to do, but if I'm going to be honest and give my honest opinion, I think he definitely beat the guy, and he definitely done enough and went there and done the business. But from my understanding, my beliefs in it was the way he was talking beforehand. Dave Allen doesn't deserve to be in the ring with him. He's head and shoulders above him, kind of thing. He's a novice. I would have thought, given that he was talking like that, I would have expected for him to put it on him more. That's what I was expecting, that Dylan would go in there and put it on him and show him that, you know what, you're not in my league. Back. I'll take you out as the one I choose. Maybe make it go about 4 or 5 rounds, maybe 6 rounds, then take him out. I wasn't expecting him to just sit back and go in cruise control like that, considering how he was talking beforehand. That's not a performance I was expecting.
Having seen that and said that, do you give more credit to Dave Allen? Obviously he was probably under the radar a little bit. I don't know if you've sparred him in the past, but he is known to be a tough, sort of durable man. And now do you see Dave Allen potentially as an opponent for yourself?
Yeah, I think potentially he's everywhere, so potentially he can be a opponent for myself, but I don't see on the back of that him being an opponent for myself, because as it goes right now, I'm in the British title eliminator situation, so really and truly he's not on my immediate radar.
Who is in the radar then for this British title eliminator? Who does that sort of leave in the frame?
It leaves, to my understanding, it's Dillian Whyte, Sam Sexton, and Gary Cornish and myself.
So obviously we're led to believe Sexton is injured with a hand injury, so that's the reason the Whyte Sexton fight isn't going to happen. Cornish is sort of due to fight for the Commonwealth now, so where does that sort of leave you in terms of fighting?
It definitely leaves me floating, because I don't understand, or I don't know what's happening, so therefore I'm just having to float about and wait and see what's happening. Wherever the board instruct happens, we'll just have to wait and see.
But does that give you the option with your WBC Asia Pacific title to then maybe look to defend that in the meantime until that's sorted out?
No, of course, yeah, the options there where I can obviously go overseas and defend that title and fight for another title in Asia, which I've been considering doing, which I may just do. That leaves that option open, yeah.
It's an interesting route and path to go, isn't it? Because they're massive fight fans out there, and to go, it's got its own it's his own network, its own promotions, its own press, its own sort of world, completely sort of shut off from boxing here. So to be a big star out there and to go out there and obliterate one of their sort of hometown heroes, what was it like, and how did they treat you out there?
No, the experience out there was absolutely nothing that I've ever come across before, and I'm telling you, it's out in there was so modern. It's just something you never would have expected. But when you hear from people, oh, China's like this, China, you go there and you have your apprehensions about what to expect. So when you go there and you receive the treatment that I did and you experience what I experienced, it totally goes against what I thought.
Is there any sort of link of opponent for that then potentially? I know there's November, we were seeing sort of speculated. What's going on?
Well, they've given me an opponent for December to go out there and defend the title against, so I'm just considering that, because seeing as how this British title thing has just kind of like remained stagnant, so more than likely that's the route I'm going to take.
Interesting route to go. Are you excited about that? Does it give you the same feeling as winning maybe the Lonsdale?
No, of course, it's a belt, and it's a respectable one, because you've got to remember, it's not like it's a IBO or a WBBBB or whatever title out, or an ABC one. It is a legitimate title. It's a legitimate belt from a legitimate governing body, so therefore you have to respect the fact that when you got it.
How does the eligibility work with that belt then? Do you have to be sort of from the Asia or Pacific to fight for that title?
Yeah, you do, yeah. But where it fits for me, how I done it was because, well, my dad is half Chinese, half Jamaican, so it qualified me.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So, yeah.
That's because you ain't seen me naked. Then you'd understand to see the Chinese.
Did you tell him out there that you are sort of half quarter or quarter Chinese, rather?
Yeah, no, not really. People never asked or nothing, but that's how I was eligible to fight for it. Yeah.
That's interesting. We saw Kerry Hope fight Virginia Singh for a version of the title, so I don't know quite how Kerry qualified. Maybe it's due to living and the eligibility for nationality, possibly.
Yeah, and it depends as well. You can, from what I'm made to understand, if you live in certain parts of the world, you're qualified for it. Yeah. So, for example, you live in Australia, you can qualify to fight for it also.
Yeah, I believe that's how Kerry Hope must have done it. Yeah. What fights would you like to see made in the new season, and what fights excite you?
Me versus David Price. That's the fight I've always wanted, and that's the fight I'd love to see happen, because I don't understand why he's going around fighting all these people he's fighting. Do you know what? I genuinely believe he's the reason behind the Brexit, because all he's doing is going around picking up these Eastern Europeans and knocking them out, and they've had enough of it. They want to get as far away from England as possible. I blame David for that.
What have you made of David Price's comeback, if you like? He's sort of coming back fighting. I know he's had one fight back on home soil in Liverpool. What have you made of his return?
I think it's a load of pants, to tell you the truth, because I've been calling him out of asking for the fight. I've spoke to his trainer. They turned around and said, oh, they don't want me because they're looking for bigger and better, but yet he fights someone who's had more losses than wins, and then they turn me down because I'm not what they're looking for, because it just makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense. But then he's talking about he wants to come back and be a legitimate fighter. He wants to be rated. He wants to fight Anthony Joshua. What the hell has he done to put himself in a position to fight Anthony Joshua? Coming out, he's starting this thing about, oh, he knocked Joshua out in sparring. He may have, he may not have, but at the end of the day, on the back of that, that's not a reason for him to get a fight with Joshua. He has to earn his place, and fighting the current opposition that he's been fighting, that's not grooming for someone to face a world champion.
What have you made of the speculation of Anthony Joshua's next opponents? Parker's in the frame, Pulev. Who do you think? Even like Supermain Stavern has been mentioned as well, which I think will be an interesting fight.
Yeah, I think Stavern will definitely be his toughest test yet. If that fight happened, it would definitely be his toughest test yet, because Stavern, he's very durable and he's got skills as well. So it would definitely be a testing fight for him.
Do you see these big name opponents coming over and wanting to come over to the UK to face Anthony Joshua? Do you think that's a dormanting task for him?
Nah, they'll definitely do it, because right now, as it goes in America, unless you're a Mayweather or Canelo, boxing is dead out there. Or Furman or something like that, boxing is dead out there. So if they're going to come here, they will definitely jump at an opportunity to come here, because Tyson Fury's world champion, Anthony Joshua's world champion, they're all England based. So at the end of the day, the heavyweight boxing is in Britain right now.
What have you made of the David Haye, Shannon Briggs situation? We had hoped to see that sort of fight take place and happen. We haven't heard any news as of yet as well.
I don't know what's happening with that. It's just gone quiet, isn't it? It's just gone quiet at the minute.
Is Shannon Briggs a dangerous opponent?
He definitely is for 3-4 rounds, yeah. Because as it goes, you can't deny facts, and facts state he has the highest knockout percentage of any fighter ever. So those are facts, and you cannot overlook facts, regardless whether you rate him as a later half fighter in the fight. He may not be so good in the later half of the fight, but the first part you have to get past in order to get to the later part.
Next week, Gennady Golovkin comes over to take on Kell Brook. What are your thoughts, and what chances do you give Kell Brook of beating GGG?
I genuinely can't see that happening, but as it goes, he's got two hands and a chin, so at the end anything's possible.
Liam Smith, Saul Canelo Alvarez again. Another big fight. Liam Smith defending his world title, putting it on the line in Dallas. Massive fight. Have you got any interest in that fight, or do you just watch heavyweights?
I'll tell you, I'll watch anything. But I think with that Canelo one, I think I definitely have to tip Canelo on that one. I'll definitely favour Canelo more.
What's the reason behind that, the logic behind picking Canelo?
I just think he's got the big time experience behind him, and I think that'll be the definitive factor in this fight. The fact that he's been there on a big scale before, and the day and the occasion and everything, I think he'll cope with it better.
Ian Lewison, appreciate you giving iPhone TV a bit of time today. It's good to get you back on the channel, mate.
It's good to be back, thank you.
And we look forward to hearing some imminent news. Thank you very much.
Thank you, no problem.
Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.